Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of everyday life, inspiring others, and leaving a lasting impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, reigning pure international elite Miss Central Region. Join me as we explore the stories of extraordinary women shaping our world right here on Crown Chat. Right. Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle. If you are new to us, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so excited to always share some of my amazing royal friends. And tonight I have a real treat for you. I have the creme de la creme tonight, and I'm so excited to share her with you all. So I will pull her into the room right now. Hello, Queen. How are you?
Yay! I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Nichelle, for having me tonight.
Thank you for being here. Tell us who you are and about your amazing crown and sash and your title.
Yes, I am Tetra Shockley. I am your Mrs. Delaware America 2024, gearing up to compete for Mrs. America in August. And just again, so excited to be with you today.
I am honored to have you and congratulations. You look stunning. I mean,
Thank
there's a
you.
lot of queens, you see their picture and then you see them and you're like, is that the same woman? But oh, you nailed it perfectly. And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
you're a little bit of a history maker because you've held this title, earned this title, won this title 3 times.
I did. I did. I am so proud of that. Mrs. America is a system that I just hold really dear to my heart. And so, yes, in 2016, I was Mrs. Delaware America for the first time, recompeted in 2021. That was a shorter reign just because COVID pushed everything back that year. And so I said, let's go back one more time. So here I am for the third time's the charm, they say. So here we go, 2024.
That's what they said. That's amazing. Congratulations. And I've never heard of anyone that's done that in any other state. So kudos.
Yes,
What's your
thank you. I
secret?
haven't either. So, I hesitantly say I'm the first to do it, just because, but I don't know. I haven't heard of it. I have heard of, repeats, but not three-peats. So I'm very proud.
Wow. Wow. So for everyone watching, I know all of us pageant girls, what's the secret? What's the secret sauce that makes it happen?
Honestly, just the discipline, right? And I think too, just remaining humble enough to keep putting the work in and not resting on the fact that, oh, I've done this before, I've been here before. Every time I look for ways to improve, I'm mentored and coached through it and really just give it my all every single time.
I love that. I think that's such a very valuable point to anything that we've done in life to stay humble and to be
Yeah.
coachable. So that's a great lesson.
Yeah. Thank you.
We have a one watcher. Hello, beautiful ladies. Hello, Nicole. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for popping on.
So you are a Mrs. So tell us a little bit about your family and your probably biggest cheerleaders at home.
They are, and I am theirs as well. I call our family all things Shockley, and they are just my favorite people. Just the thing I'm most proud of all my accomplishments, truly, my family is the top for me. My husband, Jerome, and I have been married for August will be 19 years. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. But yep, almost 2 decades of marriage. Our oldest is Tiara. She's 16. She's getting ready to go into her senior year. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. And then our baby boy, Jaden, not so much a baby, just turned 13. So he's hitting those teenage years. And then we have a Cavapoo named Jazzy. We can't forget Jazzy. She's the real queen of the house. So
Awesome. Awesome. So how do your kids handle? I mean, do you go pick them up in school and you're Mrs. Delaware?
I don't, it's funny. So I'm an attorney. And even though I would love to just one time go into a consultation with a client or into a courtroom in my crown and sash, my day job doesn't lend to that. So I haven't dropped them off in the crown or sash, but my children are very proud of me, and so is their school community. So they have had me there for speaking engagements. So the school has seen me in my regalia.
Wonderful.
And even my son, even though he's a boy and a teenager, he's proud of me too. So it's pretty cool. And my daughter is just getting into pageantry at 16, not something I wanted to rush her into, letting her figure that out on her own. And she's just got her first title as well. So We are the royal family.
I love that. That's amazing. Amazing. So tell us about your platform.
My platform is called You Are the Crown.
Oh,
And the reason You Are the Crown exists is because I myself am someone who has struggled with anxiety and depression. And I found in that journey that one of the reasons I struggled is just lack of identity, lack of the awareness of who I am outside of a title holder, being a mother, being a wife, all the different titles that we hold. I said, who am I separate from that? And then also, what's my purpose? Why am I really here? And so the discovery of the answer to those questions, who am I and why am I here, led me to You Are the Crown. And the reason specifically for that title, it does have a little, nod to pageantry. But I found that sometimes, Nichelle, we look for who we are and why we're here through things. If
yes.
I'm a title holder, if I have a crown and sash, then I'm somebody. If I have a well paying job and a prestigious career, then I'm somebody. Instead of realizing, no, I am the thing of value. I am the thing of worth. So I and you are the crown. And so I use the platform to really empower and encourage other women specifically, but I think it's something that everybody across genders could benefit from and just say, hey, no, you're somebody aside from titles. Let's figure out who that is and tap into it so you can impact your community in the best way.
Definitely. And I think we need more of that because people are, and especially I think with the presence of social media and
Yes.
the pressure that's brought about, people have really lost themselves. So, such a wonderful, impactful platform. I love it. So,
Thank
how
you.
can people get involved with your platform or support that?
The first thing is the most important thing is to follow me on social media. So I have some really cool things going on that you can find out more about on both Facebook and Instagram. Those handles are Tetra Shockley. So my first name is here on the screen, Tetra, and then my middle name is Shockley, and that's Shaylice. That's the best way to find out what's going on. What are the upcoming events? Also, having these wonderful podcasts like yours and then inviting me to speaking engagements. I've actually already traveled to the Midwest for speaking engagements and been able to impact queens out there. So I am available and open for travel. But one of the things I'm super excited about is in September, I'm having an event called The Experience. And the experience is all about us coming together as sisters. And I'm even having a panel called Girlfriend to Girlfriend. Like, let's really talk real life. Let's connect um, in those places that we don't even know we connect because we don't have enough real conversations. And so, through the panel discussion and just other things that we're going to be doing, we're going to tap into identity and purpose and figuring out how we can come together and support each other so that we can make a positive impact in our communities.
That is wonderful. I'm here for it. I love it.
Thank you.
So, what I mean, you kind of mentioned your journey to through the Mrs. America system, but how did your pageant journey begin?
I like to say it began as a child. Now, I didn't actually start competing until I was about 29, but as a child is when I started practicing that walk. So I would watch Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Universe on TV with my mom. And every commercial break, I'm sashaying up and down the hall trying to get this pageant walk together. But again, Michelle, going back to the struggles with identity,
Mhm.
I didn't have the confidence to compete in pageants as a young lady. I didn't find myself to be beautiful. I struggled with acne. I had glasses, I had braces, just all the things that say, no, no, ma'am, you cannot get on a stage and compete for a title. And
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because even though I struggled externally, I still was a beautiful soul internally. And that's again, that comes back to You Are the Crown and really connecting on the inside.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, so I didn't compete as a young lady. And then when I found out as a married woman that there were Mrs. pageants, I said, you know what? I'm going to get out here and I'm going to fulfill my childhood dream. And it started, Nichelle, with me thinking that I was just fulfilling a childhood dream and not knowing just the power of pageantry, not knowing the sisterhood, not knowing the empowerment, not knowing the community service aspect of it. And so once I got into this world, I realized this is not about a crown, a shiny crown and a sash. There's some real business taking place with these
Yes.
powerful queens. And my first pageant ever was actually Mrs. Delaware, United States.
Okay.
I was third runner up there, so which not too bad for a first timer, but
Cool.
I just started to really fall in love with it. I loved the self development. I really grew as a woman. It really helped me to hone my interview skills and just I'm a little bit better with makeup because I wasn't a makeup girl growing up, and just things that just help refine me as a woman.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And there's so many wonderful lessons and growth opportunities in pageantry that a lot of people don't see unless you're a part of that world.
Right.
And then you have that exposure. So, what's something, I mean, you're stunning. I told you that when we first got on. What is
Yeah.
something you've really learned about yourself that since you've been a part of pageants?
Mm. I've learned a lot about myself. I think the most important thing I've learned, my biggest takeaway, is how resilient I am.
Ooh,
I have faced a lot of adversity growing up and in my life. I was sexually molested as a child. I experienced, some fatherlessness and daddy issues growing up. And I failed out of college my first year. So me coming on here telling you that I'm a lawyer, that didn't come without its own struggles. But pageantry really taught me resilience because when you get knocked down that first time, that can be it, but it
mhm.
doesn't have to be. And so it really taught me, no, Tetra, there's more. You have things to offer. Let's dig in. Let's really start to, like I said, be mentored and be coached and refine yourself. And I just really found that some of the other areas in my life where I've been successful are because of things that I've learned through the resiliency of pageantry.
Yes, that's fantastic. So, out of all the things you've done, and I mean, with your platform and outside of that, what has been one of your favorite appearances through your reign?
Oh, that is a good question because I don't want to minimize any of them by picking one, but I will pick one. But they have all been fabulous and they've all been very important to me. But recently I had an appearance at an alternative school,
Mm.
a school of children who are kicked out of their traditional placement schools, and then they have to go to these alternative schools. And so being able to share my story, even some of the things that I just shared with you about my struggles growing up, and being able to look these young ladies in their eye and let them know that where you are right now does not have to define your future. You do not have to let this setback stop you from having the most prosperous, most successful, most victorious life. You can rebound. And so I've actually made a connection with one of the students because I told them, hey, if you want to connect, if you want mentorship or just an ear, I'm here. And one of the students actually took advantage of that. And so we've connected a little bit, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to keep that connection with the summertime coming up and her not being in school anymore. And so that was very impactful for me because again, these are girls who are in a place that could be critical and what happens next for their future.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you. I mean, I know the students do as well, but really being a title holder that puts her money where her mouth is because you
Yeah.
say, hey, you can reach out to me. And they did, and you responded. I mean, some people are like, oh, yeah, call me. And and they're gone. So that means a lot, so
Yeah.
much. We have a
Yeah.
question here. How were you able to overcome the cultural difference in pageantry? Oh, good one.
That is a good question, Nicole. And if I can be completely transparent, I'm still overcoming cultural differences in pageantry.
Yeah.
Again, how I've overcome so far is just the resiliency and just deciding that regardless of cultural differences, I have something to offer. And just being committed to the fact that I'm going to let that shine so bright that you don't get caught up in culture. You don't get caught up in the color of my skin. You don't get caught up in how I wear my hair because it may be like this today. Tomorrow, I may be rocking my natural locks, and you're going to just love the core of who I am and what I'm about and what I stand for more than you care about how I wear my hair and the color of my skin. The other thing that I did, Nicole, is I make sure that by the time I show up to the pageant, I'm already doing the work. The resume is already speaking for itself. So I didn't wait until I became Mrs. Delaware America to start doing appearances and doing events for You Are the Crown. I already had a resume by the time I showed up. Same thing with Mrs. America. Queen Nichelle's podcast. I'm blessed to be here. This is one of the things that I'm doing so that by the time I show up, I already have a resume that you really cannot deny. So that's what I've done to overcome the cultural differences. They still exist if we can all be honest.
Yeah.
So we have work to do, but I'm just committed to keep showing up, because if we stop showing up, then we really can't break the barriers and we really can't make a real difference.
Absolutely. Oh, gave me chills.
But
So,
I appreciate her asking that question, because I think some things, in trying to represent the pageant world and represent our systems, there are some subjects that we try to shy away from.
yeah,
But the best way to help to cross over, so to speak, is to just confront the fact that it exists and confront it head on. So I appreciate that question.
definitely. Definitely. So, what are you most looking forward to for Mrs. America?
The networking and the connections. Nichelle, I just will be I believe so much in You Are the Crown. I believe so much in the fact that we have to know who we are. We have to know why we're here. And then we have to look for ways to let that matter, if that makes sense. I believe so much in that I cannot wait to go meet these 50 other women and see which ones I'm able to really connect with, to just start sowing that seed. I am very excited about that. And what I recognize is that of the 51 of us, only one of us can be Mrs. America that day.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I can't make an impact on as many women around this country as possible while I'm there. And so that's what I'm most looking forward to. Do I want to be Mrs. America? Of course. I want to be the first Black Mrs. World, to be completely honest with you. But again, 1 in 51 chance. But I
Yeah.
have the absolute opportunity to impact as many of those women as possible. And that's my full intention.
That is wonderful. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to watch you compete. I'm so excited. So, what is your favorite area of competition?
Interview.
Mm,
Interview. I love it all. I love fitness. I don't love the denial of self that comes with getting ready for fitness. I don't love not eating ice cream and not having Snickers bars every once in a while. But I do love the swimsuit evening gown. Who doesn't want to look fabulous in a beautiful gown? But
yes.
interview is where you make that connection. That's where I get to tell the judges there's so much more to me than how I look in a swimsuit and how flashy my gown is. Here's the true me. Here's what I'm really about. And that's the part I love the most.
That's beautiful. What would be your advice? I mean, it kind of piggybacks on your platform
Yeah.
to someone that is interested in pageants, but they don't feel they're ready or that they're enough or they're pretty or tall or whatever. What would be your advice to them?
It's multifaceted, because on the one hand, I say do it anyway, right? Because there's so much to gain from it. And you find out what you're really built for when you step out in the face of fear. You find out that wasn't as scary as I thought.
Yeah.
And I find fear to be a thief, a liar, and a robber. And so if you'll just do something in the face of fear, you'll say, you know what, I can do that. And even if you're not successful your first time, you know that you can do it. And then you can come back, learn, grow, develop, and come back stronger. The other thing that I think is essential if you're going to be involved in pageantry is, like you said, back to my platform, knowing who you are and not connecting your worth to whether or not you leave that stage with a crown on your head. You have to know who you are. And one of the things that I appreciate about pageantry is that it does give you a voice and it does give you a platform. So if you put more of your focus into what you're passionate about, you'll find so much more meaning than whether or not I walked away with the ultimate grand prize. So I would say, one, do it in the face of fear. And two, discover who you are and why you're here, and use that as the foundation for your platform.
Yeah, definitely. I think you would be the best person possible to answer this. You are a mom and a wife and a lawyer and a fur mom and a community volunteer and activist. How do you keep your schedule under control and balanced?
I'm still trying to figure out how I keep my schedule under control and balance. But I will say that I just am a firm believer in understanding what is the most important thing today, because that changes day to day. So if today the most important thing is making sure I'm on time for Queen Nichelle, then babe, you're on dinner duty and you're on pickup from extracurricular duty. If tomorrow the most important thing is Jaden's sports banquet, Then clients, you have to wait until Wednesday because I'm going to the sports banquet. So I think it's important to just realize that there have to be ebbs and flows to your schedule. And you do really have to look at what's the most important thing today, because if one thing overrides all the time, then that is truly when other things suffer. So if you can just day to day find the balance, I think that's important, because just trying to balance it generally, that's where I become overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's a really good point. That's wonderful. Okay, we're getting to the end of the show.
I
I'm trying to
know
make
it
sure.
goes so
I know it does. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything in here. We didn't. We're good there. Okay. Have you picked your formal gown yet? For
I haven't. But I'm excited because so I have been struggling finding the one, because again, don't forget this is my third time.
okay.
So I really just want to make sure that I am really secure and sold on this gown this time. So I am going to the Giovanni showroom in New York on Friday to, yes, and I'm so excited about that. So that is like the cherry on top of the fact that I haven't found my gown yet. I'm a little bummed about it, but I'm excited to go to the Giovanni showroom. So hopefully Friday I will have found the one.
That is wonderful. That I think
Yes,
that's the most exciting and for me the most stressful. But then when you see it, it's like, okay, good. We got
yes,
it.
yes, and that's the moment I'm looking for. I found some that are like, okay, okay, not sure yet, but I want that moment where it's like, I cannot wait to put this on. I can't wait for, what is it, August 28th to wear this for the judges.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Is the whole family going to fly out?
They are. So we're actually there for about 8 days.
Mhm,
When I say we, I mean the queens. And
mhm.
then my family's going to come for about 4 days. They won't obviously be there the whole time, but they'll definitely be there for prelims and finals.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. I am
Yeah.
excited. I'm
Yes.
so grateful you were on. As we get to the end of our show, any final words of wisdom or tips and tricks or advice for our viewers?
Yeah. Thank you for that opportunity. There is one thing that I wanted to add as it relates to my platform of You Are the Crown. I talked a lot about identity and I talked a lot about purpose. What I didn't talk enough about today is platform. And I just want to let people know from my perspective what the difference is, because I think it helps us grow as people. And so a lot of times we take what is our platform and we make it our identity.
Mm,
So what I mean is, I know through the work that I've done with myself that my purpose in life is to encourage women. That's my purpose. And your purpose is something that you should be able to do no matter what. You could put me in a jail cell and I could still encourage and empower women. Now, platforms are like me being an attorney, pageantry, they are outlets for the purpose. And so when we think that the platform is the purpose, that's where we get in trouble. Because, Nichelle, if I think my purpose in life is to be a lawyer and my purpose in life is to be Mrs. Delaware, then if something happens where I can't be a lawyer anymore, and if my reign is up as Mrs. Delaware America, now I struggle, because who am I without these things that I thought I was created for? But if I understand that those things are platforms, then I'm okay with the fact that platforms change like seasons change, and that doesn't change my God given purpose. And so I really want to encourage us as women to separate who you are and why you're here from what you do and what doors are open for you and what opportunities you're given. Because when you put them together, that's where we struggle if, like I said, for some reason that has to change. So that is another component of You Are the Crown, and I just want to leave everybody with that tonight.
Amazing. Amazing. You have I just feel blessed. I'm like, she's just dropping little pearls of wisdom this whole way. And I'm hoping everybody's y'all better catch these that are watching. Mrs. Tetra Shockley, I cannot thank you enough for being here with us tonight. I will be cheering you on and following your journey. I've put your socials in the chat so everybody can watch, and I'll put them out
Thank you.
on Facebook and all those too. And I can't thank you enough. Everyone that tuned in tonight, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. She's absolutely amazing. She's stunning. And never, ever, ever, I got so tongue tied tonight. Never let anybody dull your sparkle because they can't handle your shine. We'll see you next time on Crown Chat. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.